Yes. So, hello student. So, in my last lecture, I have ended up with the initial concept of graph theory. So, basically, I have discussed what is a graph and what are the different types of graph. Then I have told you what are the different special kinds of graph like complete graph, cycle graph, wheel graph, star graph, bipartite graph. Right. Then I have explained you the different method of representation of graph. Means how a graph can be represented in computer using adjacency matrix, adjacency list, and incidence matrix. So today I will start with a new topic that operation on graphs. Okay. So like for arithmetic number system, we have several operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication. Okay, so for set, similarly we have operations like union, intersection, Cartesian product, right? So similarly for this graph domain, we have also a number of operations like union, intersection, etc. Right? So let me tell you first what is union of two different graphs, right? So if we are given two graphs like G1 and G2, such that V1 and E1 are the number of or set of vertices of and set of edges of graph G1, and similarly V2 and E2 are the set of vertices and set of edges of graph G2. Then the union of these two graphs G1 and G2 will be denoted by this symbol G1 union G2, and let it be another graph G3. Okay, where the set of vertices of G3 will be union of vertices of G1 and G2, and edges of G3 will be union of edges of G1 and G2. So V3 will be means the vertex set of G3, which is union of G1 and G2. It will be V1 union V2, and edge set of G3 will be again U1 union G2. Right. So let us take an example. This is, let's say, G1, this is G2, and this will be our what? G1 union G2. Right. So, okay. So here we are having the vertex like A, B, C. Better you make this a D, E. So it will be here C, D, E. Okay, so as we know in set theory, if we are performing that union operation, then duplicate elements will be discarded, and similarly in this case the duplicate vertex, that is C only. So make this please D and E, right? So we can discard this. Okay, so we'll just place this C only once. Okay, so it will be like this, right? Similarly union intersection of G1 and G2 is denoted by G1 intersection G2, where V3 will be what? Means the vertex set of G3 will be what? V1 intersection V2, and similarly E3 will be, means the edge set of G3 will be E1 intersection E2. Right. So we are having this A, B, C, here also A, B, C, right? So if we are taking the intersection, then this thing will be common, right? So it is the answer. And the next operation is ring sum, right? So G1 and G2 are two graphs, so their ring sum is denoted by this G1, like this XOR operation, right? Okay, so in this case the vertex set V3 of G3 will be what? V1 union V2, and edge set will be, edge set will contain what? The edges which are either in G1 or in G2, but not in both, right? So edge has to be in G1 or G2, right? So now this AB edge, it is present in both, so we cannot consider this one, right? This self edge from A to A, so it is present only in this graph, so we can consider this. Okay, so consider those edges which are present only exactly one graph, right? Okay, so if the same edge is present in both the graphs, so you just ignore those, right? So similarly we can consider this one as this is present, but we cannot consider, yes, this can be also considered because it is not present here. So only this we can ignore, right? Sorry, only this we can ignore because this is present in both the graph. Okay, so just try to include those edges which are presently in exactly one of the graph, right? Like this is present in this graph, this is present only in this graph, this edge is present in this graph, right? So this is all about what? Ring sum, right? So next operation on graph is decomposition. Okay, so decomposition is somehow similar to dividing, right? So given a graph G, it can be decomposed into two subgraphs like G and H, such that G union H will be G and G intersection H will be a null graph. So already I have told you the concept of union and intersection of graph, right? So if this is a graph, so it can be decomposed into two subgraph like H and G, and let's say the first subgraph is like this and the second subgraph G is like this. So now you see, you just perform union of these two, you will be getting this, and you just perform intersection of these two, you will be getting what? Null. Okay, right. Okay. So this is a one standard theorem. A graph containing m edges can be decomposed into 2 power m minus 1 number of one pair of subgraphs G1. So you just apply principle of counting, right? So you just go through this derivation. I have given the complete derivation. Okay, so this is by selecting the subgraph having only 0 edges. This is taking 1 edge. Similarly MC2 will be 2 edges. Okay, so total number of subgraph will be summation of this, right? Summation MCX, x varies from 0 to m. So this basically, you know, it is 2 power m values, right? So now thing is that the first 0 and the last case cannot be considered. So excluding those two, you will have what? 2 power m minus 2. So it is given pair means you will just divide by 2. So it will be 2 power m, right? 2 power m I think there is some problem. Okay, so 2 power m minus 1, it will be what? 2 power m minus 1, right? Minus 1. So it will be actually 2 power m minus 1 minus 1, right? Okay. So let me go to another section of this graph theory, that is traversal of a graph, right? So traversal of a graph means visiting the vertices present in the graph, right? So visiting or processing all the vertices or nodes present in the graph, that is called what? Traversal. Okay, so this traversal of a graph can be done in two fashion. One is DFS and another is what? VFS, right? So in DFS, what we do? Basically it stands for what? Depth first search, right? So you start from any node, right? Then we try to visit any of its neighbor, direct neighbor. So it can be either B, C or D. So let's say we are following this neighbor C, and if we are following this neighbor C, then we cannot move back, right? We cannot move back. So we have to reach the maximum depth. So that's why it is called depth first search. So if we are choosing any path while traversal, so we have to reach to the maximum depth in that particular path. Okay, so in this path I am going to this particular depth. So once all nodes in this path are covered or visited, so you have to again go back to the original node from where you have started, right? So from A, this node, you can again opt any of the path, other path, like you can either follow this or this path. Again, if you are following this, so it will be B, then you will move back and finally you will come here, right? So it is all about what? DFS. Okay, so for a given graph, if you are asked to find the DFS traversal, so answer may vary. Why? Because student 1 can follow this path first, then this, then this. Student 2 will follow this one first, then this, then this. Student 3 will follow this one, then this one, this one. So these are the possible traversal expression for this given graph. Okay. So let me tell you the algorithm of this DFS traversal. So basically we use a data structure called stack to implement this DFS algorithm. right. So how we do this actually? So we take a set S stack, right, which is initially empty, and initially also the DFS expression is also empty, means phi, right. So the DFS traversal algorithm will take the whole graph as input, right, and and vertex V from where the traversal will start. So input to DFS algorithm is what? The whole graph which contains a set of vertices and edges and the starting vertex V, right. So step 1, we are just doing the initialization. Initially stack is empty and the DFS traversal expression is also empty, right. So next step 2, you push the starting vertex onto the stack, right. So in this case, right, in this case A will be first pushed onto the stack. Okay, so in step 3 you take a loop, right. So while stack S is not equal to empty, so in this case obviously stack is not empty because stack contains the character A, right. Then you pop from stack and add it to DFS, right. So DFS expression is equal to, right, DFS expression union X. So whatever element you have popped from the stack, just add it to DFS expression, right. Then for each vertex Y in the immediate neighbors of X, so you try to find all vertex Y which are neighbors of deleted vertex or popped vertex X, right, such that those Y are not present in the DFS expression. Then you do one thing, you push those Y onto the stacks, right. So these thing you have to repeat till the stack is empty. So once the stack is empty means you have traversed or visited all the vertices, and finally you return that DFS expression, right. So basically to implement this DFS algorithm, we use the data structure stack. So implementation of DFS requires the data structure stack, remember, right. So similarly we will go for what? BFS. So in BFS the mechanism is like this: we start from a particular vertex, then try to visit all its immediate neighbor in any order, right. So you try to visit B, C, D, or you try to visit all the vertices which lies at a edge length 1. So all these are lying at edge length 1, right. Then you try to visit the vertices lying at edge length 2, so like E and F, then 3, G, okay. So it will be either A, B, C, D, then E, F, then G. And again in this case you can also alter the sequence, right. Somebody can take like this A, B, C, D, someone can take like A, C, D, B, right. So answer will vary. So these are the all possible BFS traversal expression I have given, right. So algorithm is quite similar to that of DFS algorithm. In DFS algorithm we use stack to implement the algorithm, but in BFS we use queue to implement the algorithm, right. So in this case again the input will be same, a graph G and a vertex V, which is known as the starting vertex of the graph from where the traversal will start, right. So now in this case we have to take a queue which is initially empty, okay. So in DFS we have taken the data structure stack, and stack was initially empty, but in this case we will take queue which is initially empty. And similar to that DFS, here we will write initially the BFS expression is null or empty. So similar, insert the starting vertex V into the queue, then while the queue is not empty, X equal to delete a vertex from queue and add it to BFS expression. So BFS expression equal to BFS expression union X. So now for each vertex Y which are immediate neighbors of X, such that Y does not belong to the BFS expression or Y is not present in the BFS expression, then you can insert those Y into the queue, right. So repeat all these steps again and again till the queue is empty, and once the queue is empty means you have visited or traversed all the vertices and you have traversed the graph as a whole, right. So finally you can return the value of BFS expression, right. So let me take an example to demonstrate this BFS and DFS algorithm. in graph theory, right? So this is the graph, and let us assume that vertex v1 or 1 is the starting vertex. Okay, so you have to apply DFS and BFS to find the traversal. So let me apply this DFS first. Okay, so DFS says initially the stack is empty, right? Stack is empty, and initially also the the DFS expression is also empty 5, and V, the starting node, is what, 1, right? So now after pushing the starting vertex 1 onto the stack, we have stack will contain now 1, and the DFS will remain same 5. Okay, so now you go to the third step. The loop is not empty. The stack is not empty, means the condition is satisfied because the stack is not empty, because stack contains the element 1, right? So therefore we can pop the element that is 1 from the stack and add it to DFS. So DFS will become now 1, and the neighbor of 1, only one neighbor is there, 2. So you just push that 2 onto the stack. So now stack will contain 2. Again the stack is empty? No. So again you pop this, right, 2, and add it to what, DFS. So DFS will now contain 1, 2, right, and the neighbors of 2 which are not visited, it will be 3 and 4. So you can take them in either order, right? So now the stack will be 3, 4, or you can also write 4, 3, right? So now again the stack is not empty, so again you pop. So assume that the rightmost element is the top element of the stack. So 4 will be popped up, and now the stack will contain what, 3, because 4 is already popped, and DFS will contain what, DFS initially it was 1 to union 4, so it will be what, 1 to 4, right? And Y will be 6, means the neighbor of popped node is what, 4, so it is 6 only. So you just push. Again the stack is not empty. Okay, so you just continue like this. Finally you will find that the stack is empty. Okay, so the traversal expression will be 1, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5. So similarly for BFS, you just apply that Q. So initially take the Q as empty, and BFS expression is equal to 5, and V equal to 1. So insert the starting vertex V1 into the Q. So Q will be 1, BFS will be 5. So now you just delete 1 and add it to BFS, and insert the neighbor of 1 which are not visited or which are not present in that BFS expression. So it is 2. So again you insert that Q. Okay. So actually I am working all this or doing all these things as per my algorithm. Step 1, step 2. So step 1 is saying what? Insert the starting vertex into the Q. Next step it is saying while the Q is not empty, then you are doing X equal to the deleted node from the Q. The next step is you just add the deleted node into the BFS expression. Then find all neighbors Y of X which are not in the BFS expression and add them into the Q. So by applying the methods, so we are getting the BFS expression is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So let me come to a very important concept of this graph theory, that is called what, path and circuit, right? So a path in a graph G with set of vertices B and E is a sequence of vertices V0 to VL. Okay, so this path is having length what, L. Okay, so it will be containing edges like V0 to V1, V1 to V2, V2 to V3. Okay, so it should contain edges like V0, V1, V1, V2, V2, V3, like dot 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 of VL minus 1 VL. Okay, so if this happens, then this V0 to VL is a path of length L. So why length L? Because V0 to VL contain how many edges? L number of edges. Okay, so this particular sequence of vertices is said to be a path if Vi minus 1 Vi is an edge, or we can say Vi minus 1 Vi belongs to the edge set E for any I equal to 1, 2, 3 up to L. Right. So now a path is said to be a simple path if it does not include the same edge twice. Means if we are including the edge V1, V2, it cannot be included twice, right? And a path is said to be elementary if no vertex occurs more than twice. So there is no edge repetition, the path is known as simple path, and there is no vertex repetition, the path is known as elementary path, right? So now next is connected graph. A graph G is said to be connected if between any two vertices there exists a path in G joining them. Okay, and strongly connected graph means if for any two vertices x and y there exists a path in G from x to y. Right. So now this path, actually this may be either direct path or indirect path. Okay, so don't confuse with complete graph, because in complete graph you need to have direct link between all pair of vertices, but in this case there has to be path between any pair of vertices. So the path length may or may not be 1, but in complete graph for all pair of vertices the path length has to be 1, right? So now this is all about path. So path is nothing but a sequence of vertices v0 to vn such that v0 v1 v1 v2 v2 v3 and so on are the part of the vertex edge, sorry, are the part of set of edges. So next is circuit. Okay, so circuit we can say it is somehow similar to a cycle, right? So a path is said to be a cycle or a circuit. A path is said to be a circuit or cycle if the terminal vertex coincide with the initial vertex. Okay, so if the terminal vertex coincide with the initial vertex, then it is said to be. For example, 1 2 3 4 5, it is a, let's say, sequence of vertices. It is a path. 1 to 2 edge is there, 2 to 3 edge is there, 3 to 4 edge is there, 4 to 5 edge is there. But if I write 1 2 3 4 5 1, then it is a cycle, because again that final vertex 5, again it is reconnected back to the initial vertex 1. So it is a cycle. So similar to path, a circuit can be also simple circuit and can be also elementary circuit. So a circuit do not contain any repetition of edges, so it is a simple circuit, and there is no repetition of vertices. The circuit is said as elementary circuit. Okay. So this is example ADCFE. ADCFE is a path. ADCFE, path of length 4. ADCFE. So it is a path of length 4. Okay, because these edges are present. ADCF, sorry, AD, DC, CF and FE are all edges. However, DECA is not a path. DEC, no, they are not connected. Okay, so you can, because EC is not a edge. Right. So similarly, we can take the example of circuit for the above graph. BCFEB is a circuit of length 4. Right. This also a circuit of. No, this path length is 5 and is not simple, right? So yes, so this is a path of length 5, because AB is there, B is there, TA is there, you can check here, huh? And AB is also there, but this is which path, and it is not a simple path, because we are including that edge twice. AB. Okay, so path is, already told you, path is simple if there is no edge repetition, and path is elementary if there is no vertex repetition. Just keep it in mind. Okay, so this is all about today's class. So next class we shall discuss with the concept of different types of path and circuit. So as your syllabus concerned, we are having that Euler path and Euler circuit, and we have also Hamiltonian path and Hamiltonian circuit. Okay, so in initial days you are showing quite more interest to these online courses, but nowadays I find very less number of people are participating, or they are watching my videos or doing the assignment. Okay, so I request all my students, you please go through all these lectures. So if you know the things, then you can just skip all these videos, you can just do the assignment, right? But in between, if you find any problem or any doubts, you can just go through and you just watch the video using that forward option, right? Because all these things I have explained very nicely in my classroom, right? So for this for today this much. Again we shall continue the next class. Thank you.